Yay! And we're back. Hi,
We're all
everyone,
here.
and welcome to the Lizzie Borden Tea and Murder podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kim Eberly, and I'm here with my favorite person, Shelly Dietzick, and our special guest tonight, Sue Vickery, who we're very happy that she made it in one piece finally with all the stuff going on behind the scenes. But thank you, Sue, for coming.
Hi, Judy. I see some of our regulars are signing in. Now, we had a few technical difficulties, so we're running a few minutes late, but thanks for hanging in there. And we're here now, and Sue is here, and we're really excited to have Sue. Many know Sue very well from Second Street, and we're going to talk to her about that. But even more exciting, Sue has the unique title of caretaker and head tour guide of Maplecroft, Mansion
Yeah.
of Mystery. And I don't know another soul, living or dead, who could, uh, lay claim to that title. So we're real happy to have Sue, a familiar face to many of you tonight.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
and
me.
Yeah, and anyone, feel free to ask questions as we go along. If something pops up, feel free
Mhm.
to just jump in.
Well, shall we get started with a few questions that you've sent in over the past few weeks for Sue? Um, and and of
Yeah, we
course,
don't want to
I
put you on the spot.
Yeah.
oh I also worked, at the house for 18 years, and I remember when Sue started there. And the first question someone sent in, Sue, was, "How did you end up going to work at number 92 to start with?"
Well, my good friend Robin Bertoldo worked there. And
Okay.
when she worked nights, she would call me to come hang out with her. And after a while, she said, you should just work here, Sue. So,
And what year was that? I forget.
geez,
Mm.
I don't know. I was there for 10 years, Shelley.
Okay. And you left last year, so you came what, around 2011 maybe? Does
No,
that
that's
sound
probably
right?
around there.
About
Yep.
that time. Yeah,
Hmm.
I started in 1998, so I remember seeing everyone coming pretty much uh, at the beginning. And what made you actually want to go to work there?
Oh, I've loved Lizzie Borden since I was a little kid. Uh, Always fascinated with the story. So, I would walk by that house as a kid staring at it. So I jumped at the opportunity.
What was
Hmm.
the interview process like? I mean, did they have a bunch of people applying for that position? Like, was it like
No, I
I
believe
mean,
I
I would
just
imagine
I think
that.
I just went in a gift shop and I spoke with Leanne and Dee, and they just asked me some questions about Lizzie, and they
That
were
was
happy
it.
with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That was it.
that was
My
it.
enthusiasm.
Uh, so when you started, did you have to go through training, or how did you get knowledgeable
Yes.
about doing the tours?
Well, I already knew some knowledge, but they wanted specific things said in specific rooms.
Hmm.
So actually, Dee trained me. She gave me
Yeah.
a script to follow at first, but she said as you gain knowledge, you can throw your own things in.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of
Make it
fun.
your own. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we miss
I
Dee,
bet that was pretty
and we.
scary though at first because I'm sure you had other tourists there that had a lot of knowledge themselves and they would throw stuff at you. Were there times where you couldn't answer things and you were like, "Oh, I'll get back to you on that one."
I mean, occasionally, sure.
Yeah.
But I studied. I really did. Yeah, I read a
Yeah.
lot.
That's.
And I would listen. I would talk to people like Shelley, Dee, ask questions.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you learn from others, and you do
Hmm.
an awful lot of reading. Um, do you have any anecdotes that you can tell of anything unusual? We're going to get into some of your paranormal work as well, but as a tour guide, does anything stand out in your mind working at Lizzie's on 92 Second Street? I could
Hmm.
write a book.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure you
think
could.
you have already, Shelley. You just
Well,
hasn't been in
I mean,
pieces.
just on interesting guests and people I'd met there. You've met some celebrities I know from Ghost Adventures, Zach and the gang. Who
Uh,
else did you meet? Interesting.
Chip Coffee.
Hmm.
He's yeah, Chip Coffee with Amy Bruni and Adam Berry. I met
From what was
from
their
Kindred
program?
Spirits. Kindred Spirits.
Kindred Spirits. That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I met Chloe Sevigny
Hmm.
when she came to stay at the house before she filmed Lizzie.
That's right. Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
seeing pictures of
We
that.
won't go on about that movie, but go on.
No, no.
But she was quite a big star at the time. I know on Netflix and other streaming services.
Yes.
Uh, I know Kane Hodder has been there, and in my day we had Patricia Neal and Heather Locklear,
Oh
Oh
Rick
wow.
wow.
Sambora,
Yeah.
Mickey
That's fun.
Rooney,
Oh
Rex
wow.
Reed. Yeah, it's a whole different generation.
Yeah.
But
I would have
you
loved
know,
them. Wow.
well,
Mhm.
the Lizzie story crosses all kinds of uh, different groups who are interested in celebrities and just so many different types of people, true crime aficionados. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's Holly and Brink Stevens. Oh, hi, Brink. Wow, good to see you. I spent a day with Brink. She was studying the role of Abby Borden for her movie. I can't remember the title. Maybe someone will type that in. Was it Hatchet? I forget. But we had a great day. Uh, and some of the stars of horror world have stopped in at Lizzie's. Meatloaf was there. Not
Oh
that he's
wow.
a horror star, but um, yeah, all kinds of folks.
Yeah, and there's a new movie out now. I don't know if anyone's seen it called The Inhabitant. Habitant.
Hmm.
And I haven't seen it, but I'm kind of interested. You know, Lizzie always gets a bad rap with these movies because everyone's so quick to judge them. Like when Ricci came out with that series, I found it
Mm.
very entertaining because it was hilarious because she was killing people every single day. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay. But this one's about, it's a psychological thriller about, I guess, the girl has a descendant or something, a bloodline, and
Yes.
so they're yeah. So I don't know. I think it's done by New Line Cinema, which is really pretty good company. So I'm gonna check it out for entertainment value. I'm sure it's
Well, we
has
can't
nothing
afford to
but
miss these things if you're going to
yeah.
critique them.
It's like
But, Sue, you did all kinds of things at Lizzie's house. We all did. We all learned
Yes.
to cook on that old stove in the kitchen. We've done
Right.
housekeeping. We've made beds in the murder room. We've cleaned bathrooms. We've given tours. And then on August 4th, Sue was often in the reenactments. What roles did you play on the 4th? I know you've been Abby at one time.
Yes, I played Alice Russell
Hmm.
and Abby. I took over Abby when you left it, Shelley. Right? No,
Yeah,
when Robin
yeah.
left it, right? I think Robin did a little bit and then I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was Abby until 2016 when I
Mm.
retired. But Abby was a good role because you didn't have anything to say, but it was difficult on the floor, not breathing when people would come in. So
Oh, I know.
it was
Hmm.
challenging in a whole different way.
Oh yeah.
so. I just want you to know. Last Saturday we had a Halloween karaoke party at the Hub 17, our studio, in our theater, and I went as Lizzie Borden,
Oh
Of
and
wow.
course you did.
of course I did, and I had my little hatchet with me, and I got up and did a karaoke song Lizzie Borden style. So I'll have to share
I
that
hope
with you
there's
sometime.
video. I hope there's
Right?
There
video of
actually
that.
is,
Yeah.
but I didn't put it up because it's so crazy. Like,
Oh,
Well,
you're a
but
good
anyway,
singer. Come on. She's a good singer, Shelley. Did you know that? Mm.
yes, I have heard her sing. It's amazing. Uh, and Sue will probably agree with this. When you, okay, my daughter has said Brink was in Lizzie Borden's Revenge in 2013. Uh,
nice.
so, yeah, So another Lizzie movie to look up, and she played Abby. Um, we became, those of us who work there as tour guides, and Sue will probably have things to add to this, we became very much like a family over the
Yes.
years. And of
Hmm.
course, when we lost Leanne Wilbur last year, it was really rough on those of us who had become close working at the house over the years. And we had a memorial for her in June, and we all got to see each other again. But we try to keep in touch thanks to
Hmm.
Facebook and remember and share photos of the years we all worked at 92. Sue, I'm sure you'll agree, it's a unique job.
It really is. There's nothing
Mm,
like it. I miss it so much. Mm.
yeah, yeah.
It's so unique. It's the only place in the world you can have a job they should have a Lizzie Borden caretaker kind of tour guide club.
Hmm.
Where you
That's not a
guys have
bad
a
idea.
reunion once a year because there's only a few of you, right?
Mm, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's actually stayed a long time. We've had
Yeah.
some summer people, and then those
Yeah.
who move away.
Hmm.
I think I'm still the longest running at 18 years, but there's some that are catching up, or
I,
probably there already. Yeah. How long were you
mm,
there, Sue? Did we say
I was there
10?
She was
10
at 10
years.
years.
10.
10 years.
Yeah, yeah,
10
yeah,
years. Deb was there
yeah.
15 years.
Hmm.
Wow,
That's
that's a
right.
long
Yes.
run.
Yeah.
Deb Vickers, and we're going to talk more about Deb and Sue. They
So,
have an investigation team called Soul Sisters, and they just posted the Oliver House. We want to hear some more about that. Um, any memories you'd like to share of working at 92? Was there a favorite area in the house? I mean, I liked the parlor. I
I
always
like the
felt
sitting room.
safe.
Yeah. I
Did
like the
you?
sitting room. I
The
would sit in that
sitting.
rocking chair by the bookcase in the sitting room. I
Hmm.
loved sitting right there. You could see everything. Mm.
Hmm.
So comfortable at night when the guests went out to eat. I would
And
just sit there.
you spent the night there, right? Many
I
times.
spent many nights there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I did. And what bedroom did you like to stay in when you could?
I really didn't like to sleep in any of them, Shelley.
Ah, and I know why.
I've
Yeah.
slept in a lot of them though, but I didn't like it. And I took over in the barn for Lee when she moved back to Warwick.
Hmm.
So I stayed in the barn for like the last 2 months before it sold.
I
I would
didn't know
sleep up
that.
there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
where
yeah.
did
I've
where did
slept
you
in the barn
sleep?
too, on an air
Upstairs in the
mattress.
barn.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I liked Bridget's room. I always felt safe up on the third floor. Never slept well in more, it was just too, I don't know what the word is, atmospheric, I guess.
Yeah.
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 And after we talk a little bit about Maplecroft, we're going to talk about some of your investigations you've done at Second Street. When did you start this group, this uh, investigation group with Deb? This is Deb Vickers we're talking about. So it's Vickers and Vickery.
Yes. Oh, geesh. I don't even know. It was during Leanne and Donald's time,
Hmm.
because we used to run the ghost hunts together for
Yes.
Second Street and Maplecroft.
Hmm.
So we just, we had a lot of fun ghost hunting together. We decided to venture off and do other places and investigate other, historic haunted locations.
Yeah, those are great to watch on YouTube. And the channel is called Soul Sisters Paranormal Investigations. Oh, you have a fan. Hi, David. He loves the Soul Sisters. I see you've got the
All
t-shirts
right.
and
Thank you,
everything
David.
now. Yeah. Um, and so you got interested in that when you started working at Lizzie's, or were you
So,
interested in it before?
did whatever did wants to know if you ever felt a presence there, Sue, and if so, who do you think it was?
Oh, absolutely. Second
Yeah.
Street?
Hmm.
Yes. Many experiences. Andrew, Abby, mostly those two. The children up in the attic.
Yeah.
I'd hear them giggling. I tried to sleep in Bridget's room, Shelley. And when I
Yeah.
did, I could feel somebody playing with my feet at the end of the bed. And then I heard giggling. Yeah. That's why I didn't like to sleep there. I always got picked on.
But did this interest in paranormal activity began when you started working at Lizzie's, or did you have it
I've
before?
had
I guess.
experience. I've had experiences before,
Hmm.
but I never ventured into investigating any of it. I would just dismiss things.
Well, how do you learn how to investigate? What did you know how, what equipment and all that stuff?
Well, by doing tours when they would have the paranormal teams rent out Lizzie's, and
Hmm.
I would be the night tour guide, and I
Hmm.
would hang around after my tour and watch them and join in. So I got
Ah,
to
I
learn
see.
a lot from different teams.
Okay.
I've been on two tours, paranormal investigators with Brian Cano. Um, I don't know if you know who he is, Sue. We did the reenactment. Yes, you were in the reenactment, the trial reenactment in the basement. Do you
I was
remember
there.
that?
Yes, I saw you there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you
we
had
did
all this
twice. Yeah,
big.
that was
You had a lot of
great.
paperwork with you.
Yeah, that was really fun, and that's what it was, like a trigger kind of thing. We did the trial in the daytime, Shelley,
Hmm.
to hopefully trigger spirits, and then at night we did the investigation. So it was an all day night affair. But the reenactment trial was like a mock trial that they set up 3 years in a row, I think it was, and I
Yeah,
was always on.
Deb would play Lizzie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was always on the prosecution side, and I'll never forget the second time I did it. I made a timeline chart. It was as like this big, like 5 feet long thing, and people on the defense team were looking at me like I was out of my mind because I was so seriously into it,
Hmm.
and they just like, what? Who's this person? Like, it was so funny. But
Oh my
that
God, I
was.
was laughing at you in the basement when I saw you.
Yeah, right,
Well,
right. Wait, you
yeah.
played someone though. You played you
No,
were on
no,
the you weren't?
nope. No, I was
Oh.
watching.
Oh,
Deb
okay.
played Lizzie. Robin was in it.
Mhm.
Right, right, right. That was
Yep.
Well,
that was
we've
hilarious
certainly
though.
had some good times in an old house. The cellar, the first time I went in the cellar was right after Mrs. McGinn died, Miss Josephine, and the
Yeah.
house had not yet been remodeled to go into the B&B phase. And the first place we went was into the cellar. And there's just something about that cellar. I feel something's hidden down there. I always have gotten the creeps, going down
Yeah.
at night to get soda for guests or something.
Hmm.
You find that
Yes.
you're always looking over your shoulder. And if
Hmm.
anything moves, you run up the stairs. I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm afraid of them.
I was growled in my ear twice in that basement, Shelley.
Growl. Yeah, I had a lot of
Yeah.
guests that,
So
that uh,
so
you know, picked up an old man's voice. Um,
Mm.
Back in the cellar where the furnace is, where the axes
Yes.
were found in a starch box, and he had a hat on, and he heard an old man tell him to remove his hat in
Hmm.
the house, and it was an old man, and that's happened many times in that area with night tours. I primarily did night tours almost exclusively for 18
Yeah.
years, and many guests who did not know, I would never tell them ahead of time because I didn't want to be suggesting something. But when we
Right.
get back upstairs, they would say they heard an old man speaking to them in the
Yes.
cellar,
I don't
especially to
understand.
Hmm.
men.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I when I stayed in the house, I stayed one time in Lizzie's room. That was like the highlight of my life. Staying in Lizzie's bedroom, and then I stayed upstairs. I think in one of the lawyers' rooms.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but who on earth would want to stay in the cellar now? Because they have a bed down there, right, for a guest that they can sleep now in the house. I mean, that's what I saw in some of the photos. I haven't been there in a while. Sue, fill us in on what's going on, because I would not stay in the cellar.
Well, I am in no way affiliated with the new owner and the Lizzie Borden house today.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. I know they were told they're not supposed to have beds in the basement. They're not set
But
up for it.
right, but they
Not
did
set
put
up
a bed
for
in
it.
the basement,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Mm.
I wouldn't want to sleep in the cellar either. It's just creepy down there.
Well, and just like
Mm.
there could be spiders and stuff down there too, you know.
Oh, there
It's
are
like it's a
spiders.
There's no
cellar.
could be. There are. Yeah.
Ah, gosh. But there's a lot of really hard work. People would say, what a fun job. And it was a fun job. But it's also running a bed and breakfast that had frequent turnover, the
Mm.
way, Lizzie's house does. Just the laundry, the cooking end of it, keeping everything clean, meeting all the health standards, and
And you
that
guys made
it's hard
breakfast for the
work.
guests too. Like when I stayed
Yes.
there, we had breakfast,
Hmm
which was
Yes.
really nice.
I think
Hmm.
you
And
can still get breakfast. I believe it's a little bit extra if you want breakfast, but it used to come as part of a package. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe
it's a lot of work. Mhm.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I miss the house a lot. What do you think, Sue, was your favorite part of working there all those years?
Oh my gosh. I love to see the excitement in the people. I mean,
Yeah,
I would feed off their energy if they were super excited. It just made the tour so much better. I mean,
yeah.
you met all kinds of people, all kinds of writers and, or people who are into the hauntings, but I love the people who knew their history. Hmm.
Hmm.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
a lot of fun, and we had repeat uh, overnight guests. They had a good time, and they would come back, bring
Mm.
friends, sometimes
Yep.
bring the whole family.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were really great times, and sometimes we would do city tours and take them to Oak Grove, and a lot of good memories there.
so,
Oh yeah.
David Wolf is asking if anyone has any perspective regarding the quality of the bed and breakfast from a historical perspective, accuracy with the new group that owns the house now.
I wouldn't know. I haven't taken a tour or anything.
No,
Um,
I'm not
I've
going
been
to
to the gift
comment on
shop.
any of that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I really don't know. There's a young man who runs the gift shop who's very friendly, and they have some interesting new merchandise.
Mm.
But I haven't taken a tour. I think I might take a tour just to see. I was there on August 4th, but it's very busy. October is busy. If you remember, Sue, October was
Oh, I
gangbusters.
remember. Busloads. Yeah.
I know. And August, of course, August 4th, they were down the street and halfway to Taunton waiting to come
Yep.
in for the reenactments.
So,
So the interest is there
Oh
Shelly,
yeah.
still.
did you work once with an MTV crew at the Borden house? I think it was the
I
Real
did. I
World in
did.
2000s.
I worked with a lot of TV crews over the years. My first one was Real World, and it was groups of young people that all stayed together. And it was a problem with terrorism that year, and their trip to Transylvania and Dracula's castle had to be canceled because of the danger of terrorism. And so they did Salem, and they spent a night at Lizzie's, and that was an experience. Yeah, and we did Monster Quest and we did Dead Files and who else has been there? Sue, Ghost Adventures,
Kindred
uh,
spirits,
Kindred Spirit. I think
haunted
every
towns. Mm.
that's right. And there was one where they had some of the Borden relatives there. I can't remember the name of that, but I think every paranormal show on cable at one
Yeah.
time or another, wouldn't you say?
Oh yes, definitely.
came
Everyone.
came to Lizzie's, yeah, and some of them came a few times. Did
Yes.
anybody ever get any interesting results? All those crews, because we sat in on a lot of them. I'm trying
Yes.
to remember. Mm.
Well, I was in the Kindred Spirits where my grandfather came through on the voice recorder. He had a message for me, so that was an amazing experience.
I would say so. When you say voice recorder, are you talking of that piece of equipment called a Frank's box
No,
that
just
has a static?
a regular recorder.
Wow. I'm
Yep.
sorry I missed that one. So you have probably pretty sophisticated equipment for all of your investigations.
Not as
And
much as I'd like to have, but yeah.
oh, there's more things. But did you, try out all these things at number 92?
Yes, we
These
did. Yes.
various
Donald
pieces.
Donald and Lee would buy us new equipment, and so we did get to work with a lot of cool pieces of equipment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing you ever captured at 92?
The most interesting thing I didn't capture, and I'm mad at myself for that.
Oh
The guests
no.
had gone out to dinner. I wasn't recording. I put the spirit box on, and a man started to speak. I didn't recognize his voice as being Andrew, so I said, "Oh, who are you?" He says, "Anthony." I said, "Hi, Anthony." He says, "I'm dead." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. How did you die?" "Motorcycle." So I said, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "What brings you to this house? Did you live here or work here at some time?" And he said, "In love." And then the guest came back in. So I shut it off and just said, "Oh, thank you for talking to me." But later on that night after my tour, I Googled Anthony/Lizzie Borden. And I got this whole article come up about David Anthony.
David Anthony, yes.
He was everywhere Lizzie was, on the yacht in Marion, and he died on a motorcycle, Shelley.
I didn't know that.
And
Okay.
supposedly somebody said he was in love with her.
Hmm.
Well, I just talked to David Anthony, but I wasn't recording.
You weren't recording.
I wasn't recording. I was just messing around with the spirit box. I didn't have the recorder going.
And now
Clear as day conversation.
the spirit box operates on frequency. I don't know much about
Yes.
the equipment.
You know, I know how to use it, but I'm not sure how it works. It's like
It's
it's
like a
like a radio.
radio. Yeah.
Yes. And
Like
it goes
static?
backwards. It goes
Very
spins backwards
staticky.
through stations. So all you're hearing is the white noise.
Well,
Okay.
And
and
the
there's
spirits,
a lot of people coming in and out of it too. I mean, you
yeah,
hear
you can hear that.
other
You
radio
can hear
kind of
that occasionally.
transition
Yeah.
type things. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just white noise and you just hear the spirits.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was that night with David Anthony. It was so quiet, only when he spoke.
Hmm.
So clear. Yeah, it was crazy.
I
And that's
wish I
funny
had
because
been there for that one.
yeah, you always think, when you go in there, your expectations are like you're going to talk to the main characters. So when something like that happens, like it way out in left field, it's like, wow, let me investigate that further. Um,
Actually, Kimbra, I would tell the people, listen, because you might recognize a voice you're hearing. It could be your relative here with you and speaking
Hmm.
over it.
Hmm.
that's interesting that you say that too, because why would only like Lizzie Borden spirits be in the house? I mean, there could be neighbors nearby, right?
And other
It could be
people
anybody.
who live
When
Yeah.
there,
you go to
sure.
a location, spirits go with you. We all have
Well,
family members looking over us. We do. And
that's
they're
good to
where we
know.
are.
Well,
I
let
heard
me
over the
ask you.
spirit box once, babushka, and this guy almost
Oh,
started crying. He said, "That's my grandmother. That's what she called me." And that was at 92. I said, "Well, she's here with you."
Did you ever pick up Mrs. Trafton? The house was built for Charles and Hannah Trafton, and she died, and their infant son died. Did they ever come through for you at the house?
The only thing I heard about that was Amy Bruni and Adam Berry asked what happened to Mr. Trafton's son,
Hmm.
and you heard over a recorder he got sick.
Okay.
But that was the only reference I picked up from them.
To them.
so
Yeah.
David,
Very interesting.
David, is asking Sue, not to put you on the spot, but who did it? What is your opinion? Like, not to put you on the spot, Sue.
I mean, I would have to say she's guilty. I don't see who else could have done it or would have wanted to do it, who would have had the opportunity. It was very personal. This was a very personal crime. This was not
Hmm.
an outsider.
Hmm. Do you
I
think
agree
it's
with you,
possible that
definitely.
Lizzie had an accomplice?
Yeah, that's possible.
Possible.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, getting back to the house and like weird things, when I was there on one of the paranormal investigations, I just full transparency, I've only ever been on two paranormal investigations, and both were at the Lizzie Borden house. So that's how much into I'm not, but I did it because I'm such a fan of Lizzie Borden. But
Mm.
I was out in the hallway sitting on the where at the guest room is upstairs. Like it's Lizzie's room and then the hallway and then the guest room. And they were
Mm.
doing the what EBP in the room, right?
Mhm.
And there was another guest and myself, and we're sitting on the floor just because it was so hot that day, that night. And we heard a baby crying. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, who has a baby out at 2 o'clock in the morning? And and then it cried. It was like a wah, right? And I yelled into the room and I said, "Hey, Chris, did you hear a baby crying?" And he's like, "No." But when he was recording, those recorders are very sensitive. They pick up
Mhm.
everything, right? So
Yes.
when he went home and analyzed the recording, you could hear the baby crying on the recording. So now Brian Cano does a tour all over the United States. He's a paranormal investigator. He does caught on TV, paranormal. He's on like the History Channel and all this. He has a paranormal museum, and one of parts of the museum, when you go through it, are voice recordings that he's recorded over years. And that one of them is the baby crying at the Lizzie Borden house. It was
That's
amazing.
cool.
And I always
I've heard the
wondered,
baby.
like,
I've
whose
heard that.
baby was that? It's like,
Mhm.
Maybe
so,
maybe the Trafton baby.
Could be. I've heard
oh,
it. Have you, Shelley?
I have not. I am rather skeptical, as you know, but I've had some moments there where you try to figure out what it could be, and
Mm.
that's footsteps while sitting in the sitting room in the
oh,
chair.
that's creepy.
I've heard someone walking back and forth in Lizzie's room, and it's like, definitely footsteps. It's not like expanding boards.
Mhm.
And I'll go to the foot of the stairs and it will stop. And another time I heard muttering, like two people were talking up in Lizzie's room. I was
Yes.
sitting in the red velvet chair in the sitting room across from the black sofa. And once again, I decided to go look and see who it was. But as soon as I got to the foot of the stairs, it stopped.
Yes.
And I could never come up with a logical reason for either one of those because the house was empty both times.
That's
Right.
creepy, Shelley. I
So
would have been
I
scared
keep the door
bejesus.
open a little bit.
They're just people. Yeah.
I guess. But when I would come to work, and you'll laugh, Sue, I know, because you want to see things. I would come in the side door that goes into the kitchen, the back hall, and the first thing I would say to the house was, I'm here and I don't want to see any of you. And I never did in
You know
18
what?
years.
You know what
So,
room really creeped me out? This is going to be odd, but the upstairs bathroom right outside of Lizzie's room, which used to be her dressing room,
yes.
that bathroom, when you're in there all by yourself at night and you're like, and you think to yourself, this was the dressing room. It always creeped
Mm.
me out, like to be in that room. Like,
Now, was
Mhm.
there a dress hidden under another dress? Your mind, after dark, Sue, would you agree? The house takes on a whole different ambiance at night.
Yes, it does. So does the barn.
Yes. I've been in it at night in a storm alone, and it was creepy too.
Yes. Hmm.
I think all of it is. It's just like
Yeah.
because knowing that a double homicide happened in the house,
Hmm.
for one,
Hmm.
just makes me feel a little heavy in the chest when I go in
Hmm.
there. It's like, because it's like an anxiety that maybe you create on your own. When you're there.
And when you arrive, you have a certain feeling of expectancy that something could happen or might happen. You might hear something. When I went on the Jack the Ripper tour at night and was in
Mm.
that alley, history overwhelms you,
Brave
and
girl,
your
Shelley.
mind really gets working
Yeah.
about what happened there. And if you've never experienced it, it's a really, well, heavy feeling.
Yeah, other
Yeah.
people are saying that they felt the same way. Some of the comments, when they went into Lizzie's room, I felt an electric like feeling all over.
Mhm.
Another comment, in 2010, I was outside the guest room and suddenly I heard, "Who the hell are you, and why are you in the house?" Then a sigh of disgust. I mean, these are from some of our guests tonight. They're saying this is what they experienced in the house,
Mhm.
Mm.
which,
I
wow.
believe it. Mm.
Well, at breakfast, usually, I would stay overnight if there was an empty room because I live in Connecticut. Uh, it was always interesting to hear what the guests had to say at the
Mm.
breakfast table,
Yeah.
things they heard and experiences, and things they saw. And we
Mm.
actually, Sue, remember, had some people check out. They couldn't get through the night.
Oh gosh, yeah. One
Yeah.
time Timmy called me
Really?
up in the morning.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The cook called me in the morning and he said, "Where are the guests?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I came to make breakfast and the house is empty."
Oh
I
Mhm.
my
said, "Oh my God, they
God.
were all
So
there last night." I said, "They were
Mhm.
ghost hunting when I left." They
wow.
must have found one. Yeah.
So Sue, we have a question from Tobin for you. Tobin? Oh, Robin. We have a question from Robin.
Oh, I
Okay, I
can't read
see
it.
it. Do you
So, do you
remember the
remember the
two
two
psychic
psychic? Go ahead, Shelley.
teen? Yeah, do you remember the two psychic teen girls? They went to the Second Street home. Okay, I've
And
lost it now.
oh, there you go.
Oh, and while in Abby's room, they both got very, what's that word? And said he is very mad.
Upset maybe and sad that
Oh,
he is very mad.
well, they stayed in that room.
Oh, I don't remember that specific moment.
Yeah,
No.
we've seen a lot of guests
And that's what it is. So
over the
many
years.
psychics telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
apologize.
guests
I don't remember. Hmm.
over the years. Sue, do you recall something, that people would always ask you, the overnight guests, either that something they wanted to know about or they had a question that would crop up all the time?
Well, they always wanted my opinion
Yes,
on who did
yes.
it. That's for sure.
I would
Um,
wait till the end, though, if they
oh
asked me.
yeah, I never
Mhm.
gave an opinion.
Mm.
I never talked about anything that I was going to talk about on my tour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't
Mm.
volunteer unless they asked, and I would wait till the end, so
Yes.
not to influence anything. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Sue, how do you feel about Ouija boards? Because we have one at the Borden house.
Yes, we do. Well, did. I think
Yeah.
he keeps it in the barn now. I don't know.
That's right. You're correct. It
Mm.
was moved. But while we worked there, there was one in the sitting room.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm not a
remember that
fan of
too.
Ouija boards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a fan. I don't like them. Mm.
Yeah, they
And
kind
why,
of
why
they
is
kind of
that?
creep me out too. After The Exorcist, I'll never be around a Ouija board again.
Well, that's what I mean, Kimbra. All the scariest movies start with a Ouija board.
Right.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So why even go
Oh,
there? It's like
so you think they're not a good way
It's it's
to try to
opening a
communicate?
doorway.
Okay.
I think it's more than communicating with what's there. It's opening a doorway to let other things in. There's already enough there already. I don't think we need to open doorways, and God knows what's going to come through it.
Oh, you mean negative things, bad
Yes,
things could come through. Oh Lord,
yes.
I have a house full of Ouija boards. I think I better get rid of some of them. Oh,
Well, as long as
you,
you're not sitting there using them.
oh, you have another question from David Wolf. Did you get a different vibe in either house? Okay, okay. Oppressive versus light and airy, positive versus negative. I think he's wanting you to compare Second Street to Maplecroft.
Okay. Um, Both locations are equally active, David, but I would have to say Maplecroft is a much lighter feel.
Hmm.
Um, it's not as oppressed feeling as Second Street can be.
Okay.
I don't feel that at all. And I think as long as you keep your respect at Maplecroft, you won't get that darker energy. Because the first time I went in there, this is why I say this. First time I started saying, Lizzie, are you here? And just different things. And then I got a door slam on the second floor. So then I became more respectful and I only referred to her as Lizbeth. And it was always a much lighter energy. So I just think if you push it, you could get the darker side of her come through at Maplecroft.
Did
But in
you
general,
ever
it's a
pick
light.
up any other person at Maplecroft other than Lizzie?
Yes, yes.
Other people.
There's a man who comes through in the basement. He's okay, but he just likes to be left alone, pretty much. And there's
Did he?
always a man with Lisbeth,
There's a man with her.
with her. He answers for her a lot, or you hear them talking to each other.
Who do you
I
think
don't
that
know if
is?
um
You think it's Mr. Terry?
I don't know, but I've been told it's somebody who worked for her.
Okay.
So a loyal servant who's still with her, I guess.
Joseph Tatro? I'm trying to think of men who work for
Perhaps.
her.
Was
Maybe
that the
Mr.
man
John.
in the graveyard that worked in the graveyard, Joseph?
Joseph
Um,
Tatro, he was her driver.
Oh,
yeah, he
okay.
was
Caretaking.
one of her drivers.
Who was the man in that did all the caretaking in the cemetery? Because he had a relationship with her too, because she
Yes.
would go visit the graveyard
Hmm.
and he would clear paths for her even in the snow and
Yes, he
I
would
always
walk her. Yeah,
right. He was like a
yeah.
kind man to her, and I always like to talk about those people that we never really talk about a lot, but he really knew
Mm.
her for a
Yes.
while.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Holly
can't remember
just
his
popped
name
up
though.
and said when she stayed at Maplecroft the night we had my birthday party, she heard a man up on the third floor in Hannah Nelson's
Oh,
room.
there's
Um,
Pamela. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she got on.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the man up there. But getting back to you, Kimbra, actually in the Historical Society, they have a big crystal punch bowl that
Hmm.
Lisbeth had given that man from the cemetery.
I'm
Oh.
losing. I can't. Was his name Lomax? Was it Terry Lomax?
I think so. I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, he would
Yeah.
shovel the path around the
Right.
Yeah.
graves when she was
Yeah.
coming to visit in the winter,
Yeah.
and they had a nice relationship. When she would let him know she was coming to Oak Grove, he would escort her, to
Yeah.
see her father's grave. Interesting, she never said anything about Abby's grave, but she was coming to visit her father. So
Yeah.
poor old Abby gets no respect, living or beyond,
Mm.
which is sad.
Right.
But we
I'm
want to
glad you
talk
got on,
more.
Pam. She's on. She was working it on. I'm glad she got on. She Pam is saying Joseph Tetro or Mr. Terry for the house, and I always wondered
Yeah.
what made Emma dislike Joe Tetro so much. She's asking.
Yes. Yes.
I think
Well,
that Emma felt Lizzie was too close to him.
and I'd heard that he was a little too familiar than a servant should be. He was a little too disrespectful, according to Emma's point of view, that he was a little
Yes.
fresh or something, and she didn't approve of the familiarity with Lizzie. He should have
Yes.
been more like the help and not so friendly like. And so
So
she
she
fired
well,
him, but
did
Lizzie
fire him.
rehired
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Pamela is saying something that I'm not familiar with either. I felt so much energy in the tower room at Maplecroft, and I had no idea what the tower room is. Was I in it
Hmm.
when I visited?
That would be the trunk room. Yes, I showed you that room.
Oh, the trunk room. Okay, so that's why they call it the tower room, though.
It's
I
actually
don't
a
in the
tower.
ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
It's a.
ceiling it looks like a
Mhm.
tower if you open the
Mhm.
Oh,
ceiling panel.
oh,
Mhm.
I didn't think
And
of that.
Sue, you
Okay.
actually went into the attic at Maplecroft. Watched your
Yes.
video there, and you
Yes.
found some interesting things. I didn't even know it had an attic, but there were, what, two attic entrances from the second floor? One in
Third
Emma's
floor.
room. Okay, third
Third
floor.
floor.
And where are they?
You know that big bedroom on the third floor? The main big
Yes,
bedroom?
that was a billiard room for Mr. Doobie. Yes.
Yes, exactly. That
Ah,
in that
okay.
room and in the trunk room.
Okay. The trunk room they're calling, when it was owned before Donald Woods and Leanne Wilbur bought it. Uh, Christy Bates used to do tarot card readings because she felt the shape of the room really directed those energies. And she had set
Mm.
up a card reading. And I must say, standing in that little room, there is a certain atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yes,
Joanne.
we
Well,
used to get.
Joanne has a
mhm.
question for you, Sue. You said earlier at Second Street your favorite room was the sitting room. Here we go. Which room at Maplecroft was your favorite room and why?
Ah, that's one of my
That would
questions too.
be that would be on
Mhm.
the second floor. I like the room that I believe was her library. It's got the
And
big
would
bay
you
window
explain?
with window seating.
Yeah, would you explain why you think it? Because many years
Is
people
that the one
said,
with black wallpaper? The black
No, that
wallpaper?
was her
No.
bedroom.
Oh,
eh,
okay.
right, for many years people said Lizzie had a summer bedroom and a winter bedroom. And Michael Martins at the Historical Society said he never believed that big front room was ever a bedroom because of the French doors. And Sue, when you showed me around, you explained it to me, and I think you're absolutely right. So tell everybody what you think that room was, the big room at the
I
top.
mean, yeah, I believe that was the library, Shelley.
Hmm.
It faced the street. Perfect place to read books, sit by the fireplace.
Yes,
I think it would have been too noisy in the front of the house to be her bedroom.
yes,
So I think she took the room off to the side.
I agree with you after years of thinking it through. And then there was
Mm.
some discussion that that addition that was put on after Emma left, what was it, 1908, when that was finished, the one over the
Yes,
porch, is
yes. Hmm.
likely to have been the room she died in. And do you agree with that, or do you have other thoughts about it?
Well, I think it makes sense, Shelley. As she grew older, she probably wanted the quiet area in the back of the house.
Hmm.
Also, that bedroom had a bathroom right there.
Yeah.
She
Hmm.
wouldn't have had to walk the whole length of the corridor to get to the bathroom. Would have been more
Ensuite.
convenient
Hmm.
for her. The
Hmm.
staircase to the kitchen was right beside her bedroom
Hmm.
door.
That particular room is one of my favorites. I love
Mine
the
too. Yeah.
fireplace in that room
Hmm.
and just
Yes.
it was just beautiful. The weird part about it though is how you get to it. You have to step down like up and then down in it. It was weird how it was
Because it was
built.
an addition.
Hmm.
Right, around the
That's because,
steps though. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Like if you close
It's
that
built off
door,
the
you would
original
never
staircase.
yeah, you would never know it was there. It's like almost like a
Right.
secret hidden room. It's
Yeah.
the way it's yeah.
And I
Did you
discovered a buzzer behind the door in that room.
a call bell? It was a call. Yeah.
A
Oh,
call bell.
oh, so
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
So, I mean, unless it was a guest bedroom, no way it was a servant room. Not with their own
No,
call bell. No.
No, no,
no. And it was
no.
just too eloquent to be anything but her room.
Did you
Yes.
It's
ever
beautiful.
try any kind of outreach in that room? Because I do think that is the room she died in.
Yes. But all we get in that room is a Portuguese man, which I believe was the Mr. Silva who died in the house.
That's right,
Who is Mr.
Sylvia.
Silver?
Mr. Silva,
Sylvia.
Sylvia.
They were previous owners. They
Okay.
lived in the
All
house
right.
for like 40
Yes.
years, I believe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's funny you mentioned that because in August, a couple months ago, I was in a restaurant and a lady came up to me and she was one of the granddaughters and she said, my grandfather, Mr. Sylvia, died in this back bedroom at Maplecroft over the porch. And
Oh no.
yeah. So I met her, and she talked to me a little bit about it. But it's strange, how you seem to bump into people with connections all the time
Yes.
to
We
Maplecroft.
we have one more quick question before Rena comes on with the special tea for us tonight. But David asked, do you think the saying on the Maycroft fireplace, "Mine country," I believe, has any deep meaning, or is it just a poem she liked? There's a lot of different stories around that carving in the fireplace, like if she even had it carved or it came already carved.
That's
Already in the
correct.
house.
It would have been very commonplace to catalog order a mantle like that. So no one knows if Charles Allen actually had that put there, or if Lisbeth and Emma had it done. So it's hard to say if it had. I think she grew to love that poem. It's also the song on the piano. It
It's
was
a
sung
hymn
when she
title,
passed away.
actually. It's a hymn. At Home in My
Yes.
Own Country is a hymn.
Yeah.
hmm More than a poem. And of course, she had it sung by Vida Turner
Yes.
at her funeral. Now, that's a funeral I would love to have attended, wouldn't you, Sue?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of funerals, Pamela is asking Shelley, do you think her Lizzie's body was prepared for burial in the back bedroom? I mean, where was her body prepared for burial, basically?
I have no idea. Just like I'm not sure if the Abby and Andrew's bodies were removed by Windward, prepared and then brought back. I don't think so. I don't. I don't know. I really don't know if they did it
And
at home or by
did
1927. Of course, you've got a booming business as far as funeral homes, where you didn't
Yeah.
in
Joey?
1892.
Yeah, Joey Raza. Well, did you have something to say, Sue, on that?
Well, I was going to say that she was laid out in the front parlor,
hmm
in the big parlor at Maplecroft. Whether she was
Oh,
prepared there or not, I don't know.
And we
well, that
assume
was
she
the
was embalmed.
1900s,
Yeah.
so maybe they
Mm.
did something different in the 1900s than as opposed to
Okay,
late.
Lizzie, people out there, you have a homework assignment. We need to find out.
God, we got homework.
We need to find out what happened, and was she removed, taken to a funeral home, prepared, and brought back? Or is it possible to have done that in the house? I wouldn't think it would offhand, but I don't know. So
Look at
there's more to
Shelley's
find
mind
out.
going.
There's,
And Joey has one quick question. Do you think Uncle John ever visited Emmett and Lizzie at Maplecroft? And I don't know, but I'm gonna say no.
I don't think he did. I've never read anything that he did. Have you, Shelley?
I have not. No.
Yeah.
I'm sure Emma continued to write to him. She seems to be one who kept in
Mm.
touch with family members more so than
Yes.
Lizzie.
Yeah.
Just judging by testimony. I mean, he wasn't sure even how old Lizzie was, but Emma did write to him.
Mm.
Another good question, more homework. Yeah, there's always something to find out.
They're
After
making us get the
Question
32
from
books
years,
Uncle
out.
John. Mm.
always something. So we're going to go to be having a tea break shortly. Are we queued up for that, Kimbra?
I'm all
And when
set.
we,
I don't
yeah,
know.
when we
Rena's supposed
come
to be
back,
popping on any minute.
I'm
yeah,
on. I'm on.
Oh,
she's
yay,
on.
Can you
Rena.
Yeah.
find me?
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to
Oh,
Sue
there you go.
more about
Yay.
Maplecroft. Yeah, we have
Hi,
another
Rena.
million or two questions for Sue about Maplecroft because so few people have ever been able to go in and see it. So we have questions. But now I think it's tea time.
It is
Yeah,
indeed.
we don't have that snazzy little picture that you, I guess, sent us.
Oh,
I
it
guess.
won't work. Oh well, I'll
Uh,
post it on my tea page. But I made a lovely little Lizzie Borden tea graphic for tonight's drink.
Oh,
Because
okay.
today's tea is completely inspired by Shelley. So last
oh,
time that I was on the show, she said, "Oh, you should do something about guilty." And I thought about it, and we have a brand new cinnamon pear sangria tea. And I said, well, guilty
Pear.
doesn't work because this was Lizzie's I'm not guilty because I was in the barn loft eating these pears. So today's cocktail, because I decided to make a cocktail with it, is called Not Guilty.
I
And
love
it
it.
has
Yay!
I put a picture with Lizzie. I'll add it to the chat after I leave here. I'll join the regular
Oh, actually, I can add it to the chat
thing.
right now. What am I
Oh,
thinking?
there you go. Perfect.
Okay, so I'll do that while we're
Now
okay.
I took today's tea tonight from something that is new. It's one of our holiday exclusives this month. Look at this. It's actually an advent calendar, but it is a 24 steeps collection. It has 24 different teas in it. Some fruit teas, black teas, everything is included in this. And
I
each one
love
of these
that.
little tins, and we do a whole like drinking one tea a day together and sharing recipes and reviews. It's really a fun time. But this is an ultimate gift for any tea drinker, and comes with steeping sacks. So it comes with make your own little tea bags. But day 8 of the Advent calendar, because I peeked ahead, is this cinnamon pear fruit tea sangria. It's
Mm.
called a sangria tea because it is specially designed to go well with alcohol. And even in the catalog, they have a whole page on the sangria teas where they tell you wine pairings to go with it. For cinnamon pear sangria, it says that it goes really well with a rosé, or the non-alcoholic version is using cranberry soda. And so it's a great tea to mix with that. But tonight we're doing a variation on a pear martini, and we're using vodka for it. So
Okay,
this
now
is
you're talking.
super, super, super simple. You take 1 ounce of vodka, which I'm using a potato vodka from Poland. I'm sure I'll say it wrong, but it's Luksusowa, something like that. It's the vodka that I generally go with. And then I prepared the fruit tea in this, which is our sort of iced tea maker. It's the Breezy Infuser. You just brew the tea in there, and then through the bottom, I'm going to press it purposely so you can see the tea just comes out the bottom. So you just put it on a glass and it'll fill your glass. So you could have a glass filled with ice cubes and make an iced tea that way. Or it's perfect for making 2 cups of tea at the same time. And with fruit teas, you can't overbrew them. So I made this a while ago to let it cool for this drink. And so I'm just going to fill it up like that. We're going to give it a little stir.
Oh,
And that's
there we
it.
go.
There it is. Not guilty.
I love it. Acquittal
And
tea.
there you have it.
Not guilty.
So
So it's 1
not
cup of
guilty.
cinnamon. Okay.
1 cup of
Sangria
cinnamon
fruit
pear
tea.
sangria fruit tea and 1 ounce of vodka, and you have it. And it's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong drink, and it is delicious. And it has that wonderful fall flavor because the cinnamon in it. It's a perfect fall beverage. So perfect to sit and say, nope, not guilty, eating pears, or in this case, drinking them. So I actually do have one other thing to share tonight. This is something, Kim, that you were mentioning. It's big pumpkin spice season. People love
Ooh,
pumpkin. People love
yeah.
pumpkin
Mhm.
teas. We actually have a lot of really great pumpkin teas. My favorite is a cozy pumpkin chai tea. Cozy pumpkin
Mm.
swirl chai, it's called.
Ooh, that
Ooh,
It's
sounds
I
just
like
good.
chai tea. Yeah.
Oh, it's so delicious. It's like a lighter version of a chai. Like if you want a true chai, you want a spicy chai tea, or something like that. But this one's a much stronger pumpkin flavor. But this tea that I'm showing you today is something a little different. This is a functional latte. So this current catalog, Sipology has released all these functional teas and actually functional soup as well. And you say, what does functional
Ooh.
mean? It means that they are using superfoods in it. So these functional lattes contain things like lucuma as a sweetener, which is a fruit, and it is way better for you than sugar and doesn't have the calories and doesn't
Mm.
affect your glycemic index. And they use maca root, and also I think there's one other. Oh, baobab. These are superfruit plants. So I have here, this is a pumpkin spice functional latte. And so it's made with things that are good for you, and they're going to actually help you with more antioxidants and things like that. And then the soups that I mentioned, these super snacks, which are like 60 and 70 calorie little soups that you can make. We have wild mushroom, we have hearty tomato, and carrot ginger. And these
Ooh.
contain great sources of fiber, grass-fed collagen in 2 of them. One of them is plant-based, so it is vegan. Uh-oh, I've frozen on my screen. Can you hear me still?
We can
I can
still,
hear
you're
you.
still going
Okay,
strong.
good. Okay. And these all have adaptogenic mushrooms. So things like lion's mane mushroom, which is good for your memory, and a bunch of others. Let's see. Maitake, shiitake, lion's mane,
Oh, wow.
and there's one other one in this one, chaga mushroom, that are all really good for you. And so these are great little snacks. They're high in fiber, so they fill you up. They're low calorie. So these are cool. So I can make either the functional latte or the soup. What would you prefer? What would
All
you
of the
prefer?
above.
All of the
Well,
above. Yes.
I only have 1 cup. So, but basically the way you make them is the same. The soup, you add water to it, you leave it for 2 minutes, you stir it, and you eat it. For the functional latte, I guess that one, I'm going to show you the functional latte because it's a little different. It's not a tea that you steep. It's a powder that is ready to go. It's
wow.
already made with everything you need. This is caffeine free. And it's so, I don't know if you could see it again. My screen is frozen. So it's
That's
just a
my
powder.
kind of tea, like easy.
Oh, so easy. It says add 2 teaspoons. I added just under, oops, as I spill everything. Oh, I didn't spill it. Great. You add the water. You stir it up. And then you add some milk and then you drink it. There's no waiting, no muss, no fuss, unless you spill it. But that even didn't do any damage for me.
Is that one? Do they all have vitamins in them, Rena? Like,
well, in terms of vitamins, I could tell you exactly. This has 16 milligrams of calcium and 17 milligrams of potassium in this one. But this isn't one of the vitamins. We do have vitamin boosters as well, which are also just add and stir.
Yeah, because I drink the inflammation tea that you have out for inflammation, and it seems to help. And it's really tasty. It's pretty good.
Yeah, those are part of the Heal Thyself line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm excited.
So functional lattes, functional super snacks, as they say.
Super snacks.
And of course, there's lots of holiday things as well as the 24 steeps, which I think is just the best gift ever. So I always get this for my sister-in-law, and I get this for myself every year. And lots of fun stuff and a great Lizzie Borden cocktail for anyone who is interested.
Well,
Great.
we wonder what Emma would
You
say
need a
with
gallon,
that
Rusty.
vodka.
Oh, she would hate it,
temperance.
but you can say, yeah. Well, again, you could make it with something that's not vodka, or you could just drink the tea straight up. The tea is actually meant to be drunk, iced or hot, but it's just designed to go well with alcohol. So that's what I chose to do tonight. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for Christmas time when we have that tea eggnog, right? It's like some kind of tea eggnog.
I don't know if they have the eggnog tea was released this year, but there are some other holiday teas like milk and cookies, buttered maple rum, cranberries and cream fudge, sweet candy cane, holiday macchiato. That's a returning one. And so is maple cinnamon waffles, which I'm so excited about. It's a rooibos tea, so it's caffeine free. It is my favorite rooibos tea of all time. And then sweet candy cane matcha. So those are some of our seasonal teas. And there's also this cute like upside down mug. You turn it the other way, and then it's a little like a snow globe with a tree, Christmas tree.
That's nice.
So there's all sorts of fun things for the holidays. And again, check out Rena's Tea House, my Facebook page, or my website is just www.sipology.com/Rena.
Can you put the link up in our group?
Absolutely. In the group or just in the chat?
Well, in the chat.
Yeah, I think I could do that from here.
And I can share that. Yes. Yeah. Well, I like the guilty. Here's an inspiration for next time. We know Lizzie had a party for a theater group at Maplecroft, and her friend Nancy O'Neill was invited, and there was champagne. So we're looking for a champagne tea cocktail of some sort.
There's a champagne spritz tea.
Okay.
It's right there.
We'll save that for December. And we'll call it the Maplecroft Spritzer. How's that?
The Maplecroft. I'm going to write that down somewhere if I had a pen.
Okay.
Oh, there's a pen.
I love it.
It was Shelly.
Maplecroft
After
spritzer.
a year, we'll have a list of Borden teas specialized
Mhm.
by Rena, and it can, like it's crazy.
With a little alcohol. Yes. Adult beverage.
I still like the last one, Down the Hatchet.
Down
That
the
was pretty
Hatchet is
funny.
still my
It's
favorite.
like-
And it's
That's
also
my
one of my
favorite.
favorite to drink.
Oh, thank you.
As
Thank
you
you,
can
Rita.
see,
That
Sue, we
was
have a
great.
little bit of fun time here.
We
Yeah.
are.
It's like
Well, I've
we're getting
got a
high
whole
off our
book of
caffeine
questions
fix. We're
here to
tea
get to.
or non-caffeine, but.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rena, thank you. And just a quick thing, how did your gig go the other night? I didn't make it because we were having one at the same time, but I see you wearing the Flesh Junkies. Rena
Yeah,
is in a
wearing
band
I'm
called the Flesh Junkies.
And you should
She-
see her in makeup.
She's
Wow.
amazing, but the band is really a lot of fun, and they're playing at the St. George Theater actually for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They have every year in Staten Island, and they're up on the marquee. And
Yeah.
how fun is that? Like we drive by and we see Rena. There's Rena up on the marquee. It's so great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But,
I've seen Ringo Starr perform, his name signed on the wall, and so is my name.
Yeah, it's really
so
cool.
it's really cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
So yeah, our gig went great last night. We played
good.
from about 10 to 1:30 in the morning, and
Oh.
I didn't get to bed until 5 a.m. today.
Oh
this morning,
wow.
so
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
really
I'm
fun
glad
though.
it was good.
Yeah, it's good to be
Good.
young and be able to howl all night and still function.
Yeah, it my most of my band is actually significantly older than I am, and they're up and rocking. It's rock star life. What can I say?
Yeah.
I need to
Well,
get
thank
out
you so
more.
much, Rena. Again,
Thanks for having
being
me, and
yeah.
yeah,
We will see you
Great.
soon. All right.
Yes,
I'll talk
indeed.
to you soon. All right.
okay,
Bye, Rena.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Sue, I've got a couple of questions that I've gotten from numerous people, the same question. One was, how did you come to be the caretaker and tour guide for Maplecroft? And then the other question I keep getting was, why did it never open as a bed and breakfast? Because people were waiting for that and it never happened.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, how I came to be was when the owner's son, Ryan,
Hmm.
left Maplecroft. He was the caretaker, and he left and moved to Florida. So Leanne approached me one day and asked if I would like to move into Maplecroft and be the caretaker.
Wow.
I know. I was like, I told her and Donald that I'd be happy to be the caretaker, but I couldn't live there. But I could be there all the time. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't live there. And that
So
was agreeable to
you
them.
live nearby. You're local.
Oh yeah, I'm right down the street from Maplecroft.
Okay. Okay, so that's how you got the job.
Yes.
And can you let us know what it was like? I know what it was like for me. The first time you turned that key and you walked in to
Oh my
Lizzie's
God.
mansion.
I mean, it was like a dream for me. You know how many times I used to walk by that house to go to my friend's house on High Street, right around the corner, and I would just stare at it every day, walking back and forth, and never imagined I'd ever be inside the house, let alone the
Yeah.
caretaker.
I
It was just
understand that.
incredible. I mean, it was an honor for them to trust me with that mansion.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
oh my gosh, I loved it. We
What
studied
was the
her
first
life
thing?
there.
Yeah, what was the
What's
first
that?
thing you did when you were alone in Lizzie's Maplecroft? What's the first thing you did? Do you remember?
I would walk around and I would just talk to her out loud. And sometimes I would put the spirit box on to see if she had anything to say back to me. The very first time I walked through the dining room, a woman right in my ear said, "Hello?" like questioningly. And I was like, oh my God, she's here.
She's there.
It's amazing. Yeah. So I studied her life there with the intent of giving tours. Unfortunately, the city of Fall River would never allow us to open.
And why
Um,
was that? What do we know about it for sure?
Well,
it-
we needed a handicap ramp, which
Yes.
Donald and Leanne got the ramp. They came out and inspected the ramp, Shelley, and they said, oh, it meets state standards, but not city specifications.
Mhm.
So they
Okay.
asked for the city specifications, but they never could have seemed to find them, I guess. I don't know.
And was there a problem with zoning because it was in a residential street, French Street? Was there a problem getting permit for a commercial enterprise, like with
Isn't
parking and
wait a minute? Isn't there like a doctor's office across the street though?
Yeah,
there
I
That's
don't think
was?
that
commercial.
that was the biggest problem. I think that he could have gotten by with that. It was that they wanted second floor access for handicap. They wanted
Ah,
an elevator put in.
okay,
In
okay.
order to do that, we would have had to destroy Lizzie's original bathroom, their very first bathroom, in their whole life. They wanted
Mm-hmm.
us to destroy to put in
No.
an elevator. Yeah, Donald and Lee refused to do that.
Uh-huh. I'm glad
Couldn't
he
you get
did.
one of
And
those chairs on, those chairs you sit on the stair rail that just sort of ride up?
the acorn
You,
glide seat,
yeah,
yeah,
like the glide chair,
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe couldn't that have worked at least? Because how many handicapped people do you get? Like,
not
I'm
many.
sure you do, but
Occasionally on Second Street we would get them, and we didn't have access there.
Right. I mean,
Um,
I'm sure somehow you could have sugar coated or sweet talked your way into, getting it. Maybe there was just bad
I Donald
animosity
wasn't giving
towards
up
you.
on
I
it.
don't.
He was
Yeah.
still pursuing different venues, but then COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and everything kind of just slid down here from there. He just
Yeah.
decided to put both houses on the market.
Yeah.
Well, I think too there was an issue with parking for daytime tours because the Charlton Hospital is right at the end of the street, and parking, as you know, Sue, is tight during the week, all
Well,
up and
same
down
with
Front Street.
downtown, Shelley. What they were gonna do
Yeah.
is
They
expand the
had a
driveway a little bit and put parking on both sides of the driveway.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There
So
was a
that
lot
wouldn't
of
have really
room.
have been a
It seemed
problem.
like I was gonna say, Sue. There that driveway seems like you could expand and have a lot of room for parking. There, it
Yeah,
was
they were
pretty
gonna do that.
large.
Gonna
They were
try
gonna do that.
that.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it was. I honestly, in my gut, like just in my gut, feel like it was a political thing. It was a political thing with the
The
community in
city.
town, the city. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because we
You
we have
know,
that kind of things on Staten Island too with builders. And they started building and then they never finish it because it's all about money. And
yeah.
I just feel like maybe I'm way off in left field, but it just feels to me that it was something having to do with that. Because
Yeah, you could be right. Um,
A lot of
you
people
know,
were disappointed because many
yeah.
people wanted to see Maplecroft inside, even just to walk through. And thanks to Sue, uh, and of course they were limited a number, but she made it possible. Sue made it possible for people who had dearly wanted to see.
yeah,
Uh,
like me for instance, and
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 I
this
Yeah.
thank
was
you. I thank you for
during
that. Yes.
was it after COVID, Sue, or before? Like I
No,
think
it was during COVID.
it was during COVID. I was
Yes.
crazy, Shelly. I was crazy. I live 5 hours from Fall River. So, Sue like saying, "Oh, it's going up for sale." And I said, "Oh no. I gotta come there because God forbid it gets, sold and I never have a chance." Says
You
Sue.
never see it. Yeah.
Yes, and I didn't want to sleep at a hotel either during that time. So Kenny, bless his heart, he got up with me at like 5 in the morning, and we drove 5 hours, and we got there. Sue was waiting on the porch for us, and she took us. I think I was there for about 2 hours, and then drove back. So for us, it was like a 12, 13 hour day, but well worth it. And thank you, Sue, for that. That was like,
Yes.
yeah,
Many
you
people
made it
have Sue to
possible for
thank.
people to
Yeah.
see the house. Yes.
I tried to show as many as I could with the owner's permission. Um, Unfortunately, there's so many more people out there that never got to see it.
Yeah.
I know. How do you feel about a family living there with 3 young children
David.
now? I'm drawing a blank on her last name. Dougherty? Is that?
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
mean,
Dougherty.
I'm good with that, Shelley. If the house
Yeah.
had to go to somebody,
Hmm.
I like to see a family live there,
Hmm.
and I
They
think
seem
Elizabeth would
so
like to watch the children.
Yeah.
well. They seem so cute in that picture, right? Or the pictures that
Yeah,
they put up. They
In the
seem like very
newspaper.
cute cute family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what was it
It could have.
like that last night, Sue? I wanted to ask you when you friends got together. Your last night when you turned that key the last time and you knew you would not be able to go in
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it was a sad time for me. Um, but I had enough time to, deal with it, I guess.
Reflect. Reflect, right?
Yeah, to come to terms with it, you
Yeah.
know.
But
Yeah.
it's a special feeling when you have on your key ring the key to Maplecroft. I carried the key to 92 for 18 years, and it
Yes.
never lost its magic. Every time I'd see that key,
So
it was special.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ladies, think about this. This is really crazy to think about, but Sue, you are the only one in the world that has been a caretaker for the
Mhm.
Maplecroft for as long as you were able to be in that house. The only one in the world. That's insane to think about. And like people from all over the world, come and know about the Lizzie Borden story. So in a way, you're a celebrity. I mean, and
Yes.
I mean, really, when you think about it, how many people? It's almost like you put you in the Guinness World Book of Records.
No, it was
Longest
such
stay
an
at
honor.
Maplecroft.
Well, there'll never
Such an
be another one for sure. And I want to ask you, did you ever find anything curious while you were going from room to room and tidying and any odd thing that you thought, well, gee, that's kind of weird. Wonder what that's all about.
hum.
Well,
I did find
Trudy's,
a really, really old gun in the basement.
well, that's weird.
That is weird.
Yes.
An old gun.
Yes.
What would a gun be doing there?
It was a handgun that somebody had cut the barrel off and filled the barrel of it.
With what?
Looked like a type of cement mixture or something
How
was inside the.
strange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very weird.
And that sink in what we believe Lizzie's companion, whose name was Trudy Russell, I think Russell was her last name, Trudy.
Yeah, traveling companion, yes, Trudy Russell.
And that little room, we think that might have been her room. There's a closet with a sort of a closet with a sink in it. It's an
Yes.
odd setup, very strange. It was added on, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you think that was the sink there in Lizzie's time? I don't know.
Or could have been added later, or was it put in
Maybe.
for Trudy? You know, might have been put
Yeah.
in for the servants.
It's tough to say, but what's incredible is the second floor bathroom. That is completely her bathroom. Her
Hmm.
tub, her sink, her
Hmm.
medicine cabinet, the tile on the
Yes.
wall, all original to her. They
Wow.
still have the granite stepping stone that she used before automobiles to get
Hmm.
into a horse and buggy. That's
And
still
her
out in the
carriage.
carriage house.
Is
And
it in
I
the
think somebody,
garage? Is it or in the house?
it's in the carriage house,
In the carriage
the
house
garage.
and her gas tank as well, right?
Yes. She had her own personal gas pump, and it's still out there as well.
Wow. Talk about wealthy back
Convenient.
All right.
in those days. To
The
have
price
your
of gas
own
today. Yeah.
gasoline pump and they had a metal swivel thing, so it's you drove the car in and then it spun around, so you never had to back
Yes.
out. You just drove back out. That is
Yeah.
wealthy. That is wealth too back in that
And
time.
did you see that, Sue? Evidence that
Yeah, the turnstile is gone,
return?
but you can
Hmm.
see where it was.
You can. Okay.
Yes, you can. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing stuff when you think about like the time error and just what she
Mm.
was able to have in that time period. And she did have. She made sure she had it,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
just.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, Sue, what's in the future for you now? Like this is an era that has come and gone, and looking forward, where can we find you? What are you up to?
I don't know what I want to be when I grow up now.
She's like,
I don't know. I mean, right now, it's kind of funny, but I'm a hatchet throwing coach. I teach people how
Oh,
to
God.
throw hatchets.
You go from hatchet to hatchet, right?
Right? It's a theme. I'm sticking
It
with it.
must
Wow.
be. It must be.
Is it hard to throw a hatchet?
Well,
Um, it is,
Like to aim it?
but
You're like, wait.
once you got the hang of it, you got it. Yeah. Mm.
oh, Rita's laughing about that one.
I
Um,
I would be like, everybody get out of the way. Make sure you're far away with
No, I could teach you. You'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so funny. I
hmm.
heard a
Um,
trivia, it was a trivia question with Nicole Kidman. She was working on some movie having to do with weapons and hatchets.
oh yeah.
And oh, it was on NPR, like the show they do, like this game show. But they said that she got so good at it. They took that part out of the movie because they were afraid that she was gonna like she was got that good at it that she was gonna maybe hurt some, or I don't know.
Really?
But
It's a
yeah,
useful skill. You never know.
yeah.
You
You know,
know
I'm pretty good at it myself. Yeah.
how are we doing
And
on
also I have
time, Kimber? Do we have time
Well,
to ask Sue?
we're almost finished, and I want to do our little bucket bucket drawing here.
Oh, yes, we want to do that. Now, where can they see the video that you and Deb did of the attic at Maplecroft when you went
Oh,
up to
you
do an
can.
investigation?
Okay, so they can go to our YouTube channel. It's Soul Sisters Paranormal Investigations.
And that's SITAH,
S
sisters.
Y
Sisters.
S T A H S.
Okay.
SYS.
And we'll link that
What
on
is it?
our.
SYS.
TAHS. Soul
They,
Sisters Paranormal Investigations.
and you did find some interesting things, if I recall,
Oh,
up
yes.
there. Yeah, yeah.
You'll have to check out the
So
videos.
check out the video. We won't spoil it. And
Yeah.
many other interesting videos. You've done the
I don't know if I put
Conjuring
that
House,
on.
and the
Yes.
last one was the Oliver House. What's next? You have another venue coming up for your channel that you and Deb are going to be looking at?
We just did the Factory of Terror the other night.
Oh,
Yeah.
open for a Halloween for October.
You're
Yeah,
brave.
Halloween.
You're brave. I would never
Isn't
do it.
she?
No,
I couldn't
I
do
would
it.
be. I would do a video of running the other way for me. Yes.
And I'd be right behind you.
Like,
I have
But
to say it's the first time I've heard Deb scream. Okay.
oh no, it must have been pretty good then. But I enjoyed the one you did on the satanic crimes in Fall River. And what year was that? In the
Yes.
70s, wasn't it?
Yes, that was in the 70s. Yes.
And
My dad was
there's
a
a great
homicide
video there.
detective
why?
back then in the city.
What?
Yeah.
So why would you go to satanic? I mean, that's like the scariest of all. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not even ghosts, but satanic. It's like, oh my
Devil
God.
worshippers.
Yeah, that's
Well,
scary
we
shit.
also do true crime. So that was true crime that happened here in Fall River in the
It was a big
70s.
case. I remember
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, and it was a
So
satanic case.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think they just used the satanic rituals, but I don't think it was really based on the occult.
oh, Joe says Sue is much braver now that she can throw a hatchet. You'll go anywhere
Thanks,
now,
Joe.
right? You're
Thank you.
armed and
Thanks, Uncle
dangerous.
John.
She has a holster especially made for her.
Oh gosh.
So I'm
This
gonna
is
do this
great.
drawing. We do this at the end of every podcast for the people that participated. Um, the whole time I've been writing names down, like as I see come up, and I put them in the basket, and we do a little drawing. And basically, I give something from the Lizzie Borden shop. It could be a hatchet, like I have these little mini hatchets. Okay, I'm digging deep. Here we go. Ta-da! It is Diane Parker. Diane.
All right, Diane. Woo.
Yes. You're lucky. I don't know exactly what I'm going to send you. It probably is going to be a print of like one of our artists in the shop. So they do Lizzie Borden. They're fabulous artists. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Whatever it's going to be sent, you'll be surprised. Because
Congrats, Diane.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Yay!
Yay!
We always have fun doing that.
Mm.
So, thank you so much, Sue, for coming out and chatting with us. It's been fun.
It
Well, thank you
has
for having me.
been. And Sue, I want to
And we
thank
miss
you
you.
for all the
Yeah.
years of wonderful storytelling and telling of history and making things available and possible and sharing your knowledge and time with so many people who have come to Fall River to find Lizzie. And you've opened a lot of doors for many people. And I thank you and recognize all the effort you have made over the years.
Oh,
A lot
thank
of
you. It was an
people owe
honor and
you
a
big
privilege.
time. You bet.
And you just had a few new people sign up to your podcast.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Yeah. They
Good.
just yeah.
Great time.
So,
Hmm.
and for all of you guys that come out every other month, and hang out with us for this podcast, if you have any suggestions, that you want us to do for another podcast, let us know. And we will be doing another Zoom podcast in the future sometime. That was a lot of fun because we like to hear all of what you have to say. And until, I guess, December will be our next podcast. And, hopefully it'll be a nice Christmas. Um, oh, making one of her bucket list items come true. There you go, Sue.
Oh, Judy,
Yeah.
Baker
My
who lives
pleasure,
in Fall
Judy.
River. Yeah.
Got a lot of
Oh,
fans, Sue.
you have a lot of fans. You absolutely do. And well
And yeah,
deserved.
yeah, and thank you, Shelley, for always being, on this podcast. I remember this is our 10th show.
Wow.
So we've been doing it for quite a while and we gotten to know each other over the years. And I have some news. We're actually going to be on iTunes soon, this podcast. So,
Woo. Well,
we'll be streaming on iTunes and all the past podcasts we'll be putting up there too. So it's kind of exciting.
Well, yeah, that is
Yeah.
exciting. I didn't know.
Oh,
So,
Shelley, we're going on iTunes. Sorry. I thought I told you. Maybe I did.
I think you said Spotify. We were doing
No,
Spotify.
no, it's
No.
iTunes. Yeah,
Well, there's
yeah,
plenty of Lizzie left. We're not done, not by a long shot.
yeah.
This story's
sure.
got legs, as they say on Broadway.
And Shelley, aren't
Yeah.
you? Just a quick plug. Aren't you gonna be having something come on Amazon? A book?
Hopefully, I just got a new puppy, and absolutely
Oh yeah,
nothing got done last week.
I saw the
This little
puppy. So
devil,
cute.
he's chewed my life-size Lizzie
Oh
doll,
God, it's like
paper
so
doll.
funny.
So I'm hoping to get that out. Yeah, by the first of the year. It's the Borden curse, and it's about
Yes.
very bad things that happened to people, that were involved in the case. And I use the word curse loosely. It just seemed an extraordinary number. So there's lots of Lizzie coming here on this
Well, Shelley,
podcast and other
I'm just
places.
Mm.
happy to hear that you're getting something on Amazon like that because you write these blogs all the time. You write all the time. And it's
Yeah.
about time, you put it into print and, you can get it out there.
Well, knowledge
So,
Agreed.
unshared is knowledge wasted, and I like for things to be available at no cost. So anything I know is out there. But this particular, I have a book series in mind that I think will be useful and helpful. I never write a theory book because I want people to make up their own mind, do the
yeah,
Yes.
reading, see what you think, as Sue
Mm-hmm.
does too.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
I think it's more fun that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
So it's all good. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving because we won't see you then, but we will see you around, in December. And
And wait,
until,
happy Halloween first. That's my
oh, yeah, that's
holiday.
Yeah.
right. That's your holiday. Happy
I've got my
Halloween.
jack-o'-lantern
God, we
on right
forget
here.
about that one.
I love
Um,
Halloween.
yes, you do.
Mm.
And I'm
And
sure
this
we'll
was a
be seeing them.
perfect podcast. We touched all kinds of wonderful things,
Yeah, I agree.
slightly
I agree.
spooky.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what Lizzie's going to make of those children living in Maplecroft.
I
We'll have to go
forewarned
back
her.
and ask.
I think
Did you?
she'll like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
she'll like
right.
So
it.
And
she's
until.
she's Auntie Borden again, right?
Yes, right? She's gonna like it.
I
All
hope
right.
so.
And everyone, happy Halloween. Happy Thanksgiving. And until then, we'll see you then. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Shelley. And we'll see you next time. All right.